What's going on, guys? So a couple fragrances that I've worn in the last few days or so in the last week kind of got me thinking. I haven't revamped this video in a while. Some of these are going to be some repeats. Some of these are newer to the collection. Some I'm reaching back for and haven't worn in a few years, and it's time to throw them back in rotation. But we're talking about aquatics today. Nice, fresh, watery aquatics, saltwater marine aquatics, sea breeze, just oceanic, watery aquatics. Fresh blues, basically, is how you can look at it. I've got 10 of my personal favorites here that just smell fantastic. These aren't the 10 greatest of all time, but these are 10 of my personal favorites, and I want to talk to you guys about them, so stay tuned. Starting with the most recent one I wore. I literally wore this 2 days ago, and it's in the 2000s, one of the greatest aquatics created, in my opinion. The whole line is good. It's not the best fragrance in its own line, but I have the highest amount of respect for this one in its line. It's Bulgari Acqua pour Homme. This stuff's great. Bitter seaweed, bright citrus, very oceanic. Salty, musky, dries down a little soft and powdery, and I actually get great performance out of this one. I know I've heard recent batches, I've heard it's discontinued, I've heard it's not discontinued, it's reformed, I've heard all these different things. I don't know. This bottle I picked up, forgot how long ago. It's not a super old bottle. I want to say I picked it up from Fragrance Net like a year and a half, 2 years ago, something like that. And I get 8, 9, 10 hours. When I wore it the other day, I was still smelling it 9, 10 hours in. Now, it was a skin scent at that point. It wasn't projecting anymore, but the sillage was on the moderate to mild side. Like, I didn't have to really look for it. It was quick and easy to find. Like, do that, smell it as soon as I get close to the arm. So there was a little mild to moderate trail, you know. This is one that I think is a great fragrance to start this particular video with because it's very iconic. Now, a lot of people are going to say, oh, marine is so much better. I agree. I do like marine a little bit more. Aqua Atlantique's the king of the line. If you feel that way, so do I. That's my favorite one. It's like this mixed with Dylan Blue. It's phenomenal. I have 2 bottles and a travel size, so technically 3 bottles of it. I'm with you on that. Some people love Amara. My least favorite of the 4, and I don't have the 2 tonic flankers. I've never tried either of the tonic flankers. Maybe one day, who knows, they're crazy to get at resale. But this particular fragrance I feel deserves some attention, and it was nice to reach for it. It's been a long time since I wore it, and it's easy to forget about how good certain fragrances are if you don't reach back in your collection sometimes. You know, I'm as guilty as it gets of buying new fragrances and letting just phenomenal stuff sit there and collect dust. So if you haven't smelled this one, you really should. And if you have it in your collection, dust your bottle off. And this spring and summer, pull out Bulgari Acqua pour Homme. You want to talk about airy, breezy, watery, mouth-watering citrus, very ozonic, aquatic. This is gorgeous. It kind of reminds me of fragrances like Dolce & Gabbana Light Blue, for example. It doesn't have all that smokiness and heft of pepperiness, but I don't know, something about like part of the DNA. Mancera Soleil kind of gives me the vibe of it. Though this is an easy 8-hour fragrance on my skin while still being very bright and airy. This is super, I mean mega fresh when it comes to the scent profile. So delightful. There's a little bit of this floral tone in its heart. It has a white floral smell to it. I don't remember the notes exactly, but there's orange, there's lemon, there's grapefruit, there's all these different citruses. Some watery aquatic tones in the heart. I smell it just floating around. This is one of the most underrated Pierre Montal fragrances. And when I say Pierre Montal, that encompasses both houses, both Mancera and Montal. This is pretty underrated. A lot of people are in the know and enjoy this one. Some of you watching this have this, love this, and are like, yes, give it its praise, Ross. We're giving it its flowers right now because this is one of the better aquatics. This is pretty recent to my collection. I grabbed it last summer. Wore it a handful of times. I've been meaning to do a full review on this one. I don't think I've done a full... Did I do a full review? I may have done a full review. I meant to do one. I do so many videos. I've got over 1,800 videos at the recording of this. But this is just magnificent. If you haven't smelled this one, get yourself a sample and try it. This may be the next staple in your summer rotation. You never know, because it is lovely. The performance is there, because I know that's very important to a lot of people. You don't just want something that smells great and aquatic. You want one that lasts, and that's kind of hard to come by. But in this instance, you're going to get that. It's a great aquatic. Mancera Soleil. Now, when it comes to my personal collection, this is a blast from the cheapy past. Now, the note breakdown is very simplistic across the internet. And I actually get more of a salty accord then the notes would lead you to believe, but it's a beautiful bright citrus, saltwater, aquatic type of smell, a little soapy, very soapy smell. There's some lavender here. It is Tommy Bahama, Set Sail Martinique. In a little while since I wore this one. When it comes to Tommy Bahama, I tend to reach for the maritime fragrances or my favorite, St. Bart's, because it's just so good. But this is underrated. A little bit of a sunscreen smell to it, even though there's no coconut or anything like that listed. It's sun-kissed skin for that muskiness, the sunscreen smell. It's a soapy, aquatic, a little bit of a salty sea breeze smell. You can get it for around $20 from discounters online, pops up at the rack stores. Most notably, places like Nordstrom Rack is where I typically see the Tommy Bahama fragrances. This is super underrated. It's an eau de cologne, but any of you familiar with the Tommy Bahama fragrances, you know that they're not 1 or 2 hour fragrances. For some of you, that may be the case, but for me, they're usually 4 to 6 hour fragrances, and for such a low oil concentration, that's impressive because you get the brightness, the freshness, and the airiness of what an EDC concentration brings to an aquatic fresh fragrance. It really is just mega bright. If you're looking for the brightest, freshest, most invigorating, summery feeling fragrances, you should check out this house. You're going to sacrifice some performance, but they're really not as bad as you would expect. And this one is super underrated. It gets no love. That's Tommy Bahama, Set Sail Martinique. So this makes 3 out of the first 4 fragrances that I'm just reaching back in the collection for. You know, there was a time at the beginning of my channel that I was really enjoying this one. It's basically aquatic Versace Eros. That's how you can look at it. It is Jean-Paul Gaultier's Lamal in the navy. I actually get pretty good performance out of this one. 6-7 hours range. This one's going on the rotation table. I haven't worn in a while. It has that apple mint vanilla smell. A little bit of lavender. Like I said, smells like Eros, but a watery aquatic take. There is actual watery notes listed, and you smell it too. I'm sorry, that's beautiful. I'm just spraying that again. Man, if you've never smelled this one, you might be missing out. If you're a fan of Eros and you want kind of the summer version of Eros, Lamal in the navy, got you covered. Like I said, not the performer that Eros is, but this is aquatic Versace Eros. Now, that may be a turnoff for some. It's all good. You don't have to buy it. You don't have to try it. But like I said, for those that like Eros and want the summer version, Jean-Paul Gaultier made that fragrance a few years ago. And it's called Lamal in the navy. It's that simplistic, guys. There's nothing special to add beyond that, pretty much, is Eros plus watery notes. And like I said, solid performer. Not everybody. This came out to mixed reviews originally, but boy, don't let the internet fool you into not trying this one because it's actually really good. Lamal in the navy. So when it comes to the Azzaro Chrome line, there's a lot of ways I could have went here. And some of you are probably assuming it's going to be Chrome Extreme because it's technically my favorite in the line. But when it comes to the more watery flanker, it's a tie between that one and this one, but because of the minty green aspects of this, it kind of gets the nod, in my opinion, with Chrome Aqua. I mean, the name's even right there is Aquatic, right? Chrome Aqua. But it's actually a very green, minty, fresh, citrusy grapefruit smell at the top. A little herbaceous in its tone in the dry down with some musk and woods, but it's all about these aquatic notes in the heart as well. So you got minty green, fresh citrus, watery heart, woodsy, musky base. A little herbal. I believe there's a mate note, a little tea note, something like that. Decent performer too. 6 to 8 hour range is what I get out of this bad boy. Again, it's not the performer that Extreme is. That's 8 to 10 hours on my skin. But this one I find to be a little bit more watery and aquatic overall. Whereas you would think Chrome Extreme is. It's got more of that shower gel oceanic feel. Whereas this has a little bit more character. You know, when it comes to the scent, I slightly prefer this in some ways in certain situations, but the overall presentation, I guess, is better for me with Extreme because it performs better when you want that beast aquatic, that route. When you want a slightly more interesting aquatic, I think would be the way to put this one. I think you want to check out Chrome Aqua. There was a time when this was my favorite flanker until I got the Extreme, but still a great fragrance. Great year round if you like minty, fresh, watery fragrances. Like I said, somewhat unique. They don't have a bunch of fragrances out there that I've smelled anyways that smell like this. One of the better aquatics out on the market that are affordable. Azzaro Chrome Aqua. Now, another reason why I went with Chrome Aqua instead of Chrome Extreme is because of this very next fragrance. It smells very much like Chrome Extreme. So Chrome Extreme smells like chrome mixed with Acqua di Gio Profondo. And I would rather go with Acqua di Gio Profondo. If I had to pick between the two, between this and Chrome Extreme, this is the better fragrance. I would say the more budget conscious buyer needs to go with Chrome Extreme because it's very similar performance and scent profile, but this is a step above Chrome Extreme for sure. They have this Aquazone note that Alberto Marias used when he composed this that takes this airy sea breeze, oceanic feel to the next level. It has the synthetic sea notes, marine notes that's been used traditionally in this line, plus this Aquazone note. There's some citrus at the top, a little bit of orange, I believe. Very musky and aquatic. This is just, it doesn't get much more synthetically oceanic and powerful than this. It does not smell natural and high quality. It does smell like a man-made synthetic, which there's a lot of man-made synthetics here, but out in the air, one of the most beautiful aquatic fragrances ever created. This is masterfully done. For a lot of people, this is the best in the line, and I'm not going to argue that. This is the one I recommend the most to people because I think it's the most complete package. It's the modern day Acqua di Gio. If Acqua di Gio was a brand new fragrance, I've said this a bunch of times, it would be the Profondo flanker. It's the bluest of the blue when it comes to the line. You lose a lot of the green aspects and facets to the original while maintaining the aquatic notes of the original and really intensifying it with the way this was recomposed. Just gorgeous. If you want a powerful aquatic that really pulls attention, you want Acqua di Gio Profondo. So recently when I've talked about Invictus Aqua 2018, my favorite, I've noticed that it's getting scarce and where you can find it, it's really expensive. So it must actually be discontinued if that's the case. I'm not certain if it's discontinued, but boy, it sure looks like it. So because of that, moving forward, when I want to talk to you about that scent profile, I'm going to talk about the closest related to the scent profile. No, not Hawass. That's different. It's got spices and all the other things. The one difference here is soapy lavender instead of the powdery violet with Halloween Man Hero. This is probably the closest representation you're going to get to Invictus Aqua 2018, and it's on a budget. This 4.2 ounce, I've seen it for $30 some odd from Discounters Online. I'll have links below to all of these. This is good stuff. It was on my rotation table to wear because I have cooler weather this week in the 40s. Not the best for aquatics, but next week it's going to be warmer. I'm wearing this one in the next week. I've been talking about it and sniffing on it lately. I want to wear it. It's a very good performer, not quite a beast. 6 to 8 hour range on my skin. Very affordable. Great smell. It's like 90% Invictus Aqua 2018. Like I said, the biggest difference here is this is full of soapy lavender. That has a powdery floral violet leaf combo. Still get the same grapefruit smell, the aquatic tones, the soapiness, the soft powdery tone, the musks, that driftwood type of smell, that kind of salty wood smell that driftwood provides that adds that aquatic nature, really intensifies the watery feel. But then you get the shower gel soapiness of lavender. So I actually think it's quite a nice trade-off. It makes it different enough, but not completely different. Like I said, this isn't a one-to-one copy of Invictus Aqua 2018, but it's pretty damn close, and it's way more affordable without sacrificing performance. Doesn't smell super cheap. It's just as likable. So if you're looking for that on a budget, check out Halloween Man Hero. Now, this is one of the two weakest performing fragrances in this video, but it's also one of the most aquatic smelling. When I say aquatic, I mean I think seawater. When I smell this, it's so good. God, it's so good. Davidoff Cool Water Wave. I've been talking about this one lately, and I've been sniffing on it, and it's staying on the rotation table. I love this fragrance. I've had it for a few years now. You see that juice level dropping. I wear it every summer. I like to wear it out the shower. I like to wear it casually during the day when it's hot outside. I love the color scheme on this bottle. It's gorgeous. This is so good. You're getting 5 hours at best. At best. 3 to 5 hour fragrance for most people. After an hour, the projection is calmed down, so performance is not strong here. You can bathe in it. 10 to 15 sprays is what when I wear it casually, or when I used to wear it to work a few years ago. 10 to 15 sprays. And then I'd refresh like 3-4 hours in. 10 to 15 more sprays. Yeah, you can spray this one heavy. It smells incredible. It's super inoffensive. There's a Sichuan pepper that provides this spice that kind of fleets. The juniper berry is what gives a little bit of a gin hit but provides your aromatic tone. There's C notes here that give this salty, saltwater type of smell. And it does have the shower gel feel. It smells like one of those shower gel aquatics, but one of my favorite shower gel aquatics ever made, honestly. I love the way this stuff smells. It's still cheap. You can get a big 200 ml for like $30 from Fragrance Buy, which I'll have in a link below. I mean, 200 ml would do pretty good with this fragrance because you can bathe in it, you can refresh all you want, you can be very liberal with the sprayer. You can just go all over it and have yourself a good old time because it smells absolutely phenomenal. If you're looking for a great cheap aquatic, my opinion, of course, you're gonna want to check out Davidoff Cool Water Wave. So this is another saltwater aquatic smell that I wore within the last week. Wore it on the same trip that I wore Bulgari Aqua. This was actually my travel day scent when I went to Chicago last week at the recording of this. Dolce & Gabbana Light Blue Oh Intense. Been talking about this one a lot lately because I've been enjoying this one. I've always been a big fan of this fragrance. It's an appropriately named fragrance. It's a true intense flanker. It does smell like the original Dolce & Gabbana Light Blue Pour Homme intensified. It's much more rich. It's very salty. It's intense. Up close, it's a bit much on skin, but out in the air, this stuff's magic. And it's a beast. It's like 10 hours every time I wear it. The trail on it is magnificent. It's captivating. It is a charismatic compliment magnet. This thing draws you in. This is such a good fragrance. And it's much more affordable than it used to be. This is a great fragrance. I still think this is the one to own of all the great light blue flankers, including the original light blue. This is the one to own. Now, I do prefer the scent of the original light blue a little bit more. I do think it smells better. It's not as intense, but you're getting about half the performance. So price value is definitely on this one. This is the one that's going to grab attention because I know that's very important to a lot of you. This is one of the best aquatics ever made, in my opinion. Just is what it is, right? Dolce & Gabbana Light Blue. Oh, intense. It's literally in the name and the color scheme of this bottle. On it being an aquatic fragrance, it's got some citrus at the top. Nice aquatic heart. It's a little floral. It's sweet. Soapy. It's woodsy. It's Missoni Wave. I don't think I could have this video topic without this fragrance. This is one of my favorite pickups of 2022. I love this stuff. Another one, charismatic. Pulls people in for sure. Above average performer, 6 to 8 hour range on my skin. I've seen people say they get 3 or 4 hours. I've seen people say they get at least as good as I get, if not better. Whew, man, this is good stuff. Smells very similar to a little bit of Versace Pour Homme with a lot of Chanel Allure Homme Sport. This is more closely related to Chanel Allure Homme Sport. Has that creaminess that Chanel Allure Homme Sport's known for. This is good, man. This is really, really freaking good. This is one of the best cheap fragrance pickups I've ever made. Ever. In all of these fragrances in this collection. One of the best cheapies. Top 5 cheapie all time for me. That's how much I enjoy this one. So, of course, I had to have this. I wouldn't call it saving the best for last because they're all really damn good. There's no ranking here to this top 10. But if you haven't tried this one yet, I've been harping and raving and singing its praises for a long time at this point, for about a year. And I'd really love for you guys to try it because you may love it, you may hate it, but at least you'll have the experience and you'll know because this could be a great addition to your collection if you're looking for a compliment magnet aquatic with a lot of character, a lot to offer for the money. Really, really good stuff, I'm telling you. It's Missoni Wave. Well, that's the 10 that I have for you today. And until next time, do me a real quick favor. Go ahead and like, comment, subscribe, because I do appreciate all the feedback. And I love hearing from you guys. What in this video have you tried or do you own? What was a pass for you? Do you disagree with some of these picks? It's all good. This is just my opinion on things I like, and I just wanted to talk to you guys about them. Again, if you're interested in any of these, I'll try my best to have links down below to everything if possible. Some of these you can find at rack stores. Some of these you can find great deals online. They're all great fragrances in my opinion. Until next time, I will say if you get your hands on any of the 10 we featured here today in this video, and you give them a spray now, pretty confident you'll thank me later, especially if you're looking for a great aquatic. Have a good one, guys.